Okay, so when we have an issue, which in my case is going to be weight, pre-diabetic status, and my soul needs some cleansing. So what I've done is I have made a game plan. Okay, so this notebook, I wrote down how I'm going to document change, how I am going to produce that change. So the first thing I did was write physical body. How am I going to transform that? So the ways that I'm going to do that are by focusing on the things that I know will actually make a difference in my physical body. So when I look at that plan, the first thing is move your body day. We all know movement and activity is super important to get those calories burning and to get some energy pumping, right? Okay, get our heart strong. Second thing we're gonna do, hydraciones. Yes, we're gonna hydrate our body with none other than the amazing H2O. Number 3, add vitamin-rich foods to my diet. So one of the things I struggle with is binge eating, and the wonderful binge eating therapist helped us to realize that restriction is one of the worst possible things that someone with binge eating disorder can do, because we're restricting our body from calories that it needs to function, and so it can trigger a really bad binge. So I'm going to make sure that my meals are vitamin rich and have plenty of nutrients in them. Number 4, I'm going to improve my sleep. Now, do I know how? Not really. I've had some wonderful information given to me by a coach that I've used before. The problem is I do have PTSD from previous trauma, and I do have nightmares. So I am going to be researching and seeing what I can do to help with that. The first thing is I did get some doTERRA oils that smell amazing, and I'm going to use them to add a nice calming scent to my bedroom during my sleep. See if that helps. I'll make sure my room is nice and dark. Make sure I don't use any kind of screens about an hour before so my brain can wind down. Anyway, we're going to keep researching on that. And number 5, relaxation, because we all know that when our body is stressed, we shoot up the cortisol in our body, and those steroids can actually cause a lot of weight gain. So those are my 5 physical body transformation boosters, I'm going to call them, for getting this physical body together. Then, as far as my soul boosting ways to transform that area, I am going to daily get soul awakening. And what I mean by that is I just want my soul to brighten. I do deal with depression and anxiety, as most people do nowadays. And so I want to be able to increase the positive things that I allow into my brain, into my visual perception, things I hear, things I smell, things I taste. I want there to be positive input to increase the soul's awakening to happiness and joy. So one of the things I do already that helps that is I call them my soul awakening walks. And I just go for a walk out in nature. Nature is my big happy place. And I listen to positive podcasts, talks, meditations from various gurus in different areas of spirituality and well-being. I am going to a psychotherapist who is phenomenal, and she does give me homework. So doing my homework is going to be a soul awakening booster. Then I also, because of the binge eating, have a binge eating therapy support group that we meet once a month. Gotta do. I'm also doing Reiki training. I'm finishing up Reiki 1 right now. It's a way to heal others through life force energy. And so I will be continuing to give that to people as I can. Of course, meditation is super, super, super important. Getting the mind right. I love doing that in the morning because it helps me to get through the day and in positive ways, but I do need to be more consistent about that. So, how, you may say, are we going to track what is happening in this transformation? Physical tracking will be done, obviously, with input of visual verification. So you have your, obviously, body pics, right? So photos of the starting body. I'm going to do those every week. Okay, I think that will be beneficial for me because, as we know, there's a lot of weeks where the other measurements may not be where I want it to be, but this way, hopefully I can at least see a difference. I'm going to document body measurements every week, and I'm going to document weight every week. So for physical body, we've got weight, we have pictures, and we have measurements. Also, once a month, I do want to work on my flexibility. And so I will be also documenting monthly flexibility shots, photos to see how we're doing there. And I am going to be, of course, following up on my lab work. I don't know if that's going to be every 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, but I will be going back to see my doctor in a month to see how everything is going, and I will be able to tell you then what the game plan is. I also will be doing the physical yearly instead of waiting a year or two, which we all like to do, but it is super important now that I'm getting older. So that is my physical body, how we were going to track those things, okay? And then for the soul, that's really hard to even know how you would go about tracking that, right? So I did have to do a lot of thinking on this section, but one of the things is on Insight Timer. It is a wonderful app that has meditation and mindfulness practices on it. It does ask you to check in and tell them how your mood is going. And I find that very helpful. I only do it once a day, but I think I'd like to go ahead and do it morning and night now. So I'm going to document my mental mood analysis in the morning and at night and see how that changes as I'm growing in this transformation. I am going to document, as we talked about before, my daily soul awakening activities. So meditation, Reiki, my walks. We'll make sure that I do that daily. That's going to be important. And then I'm going to document my binges and my steps in recovery. So that's going to be very difficult for me because obviously no one wants to show the worst of themselves. We don't want to show the best of ourselves, but I think it's important to find out, and my binge eating therapist talks about this as well, that it is important to find out what the parts of us are needing when we have a binge. We don't just binge because there's a switch that turns on and magically for no reason we binge. There are reasons behind that. So I do need to dive further, keep doing my homework, keep reaching out. Connecting is real important. So those are the things and the ways that I'm going to document the soul transformation. I will be making some type of documentation form. I don't know if it's going to be a big old poster, but I do know there will be stickers and possibly glitter involved because that's how I roll. So I will get back to you as soon as I know the rest of the game plan, but this is what I know for now. Also, I do know that I'm going to be starting the weekly weigh-ins and pictures, etc. on November 7th, which is next Monday. That gives me time to get my plan set up. All right, thank you guys. Talk to you later.